Hello all, this video will have a look at JMRI as a administrative tool for operations, in particular for generating switch lists. You saw a schematic of the full layout when it's completed, but for this demo we're going to use just a part of the layout with 3 locations: the Kaifuk yard as the middle point, and at each end, as it were, the steel and power plant and the auto assembly plant, NEDCAR, and the DSM coal mines. For this demonstration we'll use a limited set of rail cars, coal cars as shown here, coil cars, steel from the steel plant to the auto works, coal from the mines to the power plant, and a scrap metal gondola. The car on the layout has a unique ID like GO3, GO4 for coal gondolas. These are human readable and stuck on the side of or top of the car, as you can see here. That's SO3 and SO2, and on the coal cars, G for gondola. You can see here GO4 on the side. I've made these larger than normal, or at least human readable, because HO or in scale letters on the side of a rail car are almost impossible to read. So all cars have a unique ID to allow us to find them in operations and send them on their way. For this demo at Kaifuk Yard, I've marked the 2 tracks we'll be using for this demo. One going to the steel works and one going to the coal mine, basically, and they'll represent the activity at Kaifuk Yard. The JMRI package allows you to print out the things you've configured, like the locations here, showing the spurs where the cars are stored. The routes can be printed out for records keeping here, from Kaifuk to NEDCAR and from Kaifuk to the power plant, and the trains, the KHO3 Kaifuk to the steel and power plant, and the KDO2 from Kaifuk to the mines and the NEDCAR power plant. Just showing you some of the printing, and this of course a switch list as taken from the package. Using JMRI for operations, in particular for the generation of switch lists. As I mentioned previously, this part of JMRI can be used simply as an administrative tool. Locations: the coal mine area, DSM coal and NEDCAR factory, water plant. The steelworks at Hoogovens, the PEN power plant, and finally Kaifuk Yard, Dutch rangeeropdrachten, the Kaifuk Yard. Then we have routes going from the various locations. We have 3 locations with a yard in the middle, meaning that we'll have a local train, a local goods train, running between Kaifuk Yard and the coal mine at DSM and the NEDCAR auto plant. And the other local will be between Kaifuk Yard going the other way to the steel plant and the PEN power plant. So every car needs both trains to go from one end to the other, as it were. Or both routes. And the trains, we have 2 trains, 2 locals. KHO3 which is from Kaifuk to the steel yard at Hoogovens and the power plant, and the KDO2 going the other way between Kaifuk yard and the coal mines at DSM and Nedcar. So as shown here. From the car setup, that the power plant has empty coal cars, so it will need some of the loaded coal cars coming from Kaifuk yard, where most of them are stored at the moment. So what we'll do is we will build the train at Kaifuk yard to go to the steelworks and the power plant. So we'll build it, and then we can print, as it's shown here, we can print what we're looking for, and that's the switch list to operate. We've printed the report by hitting the print button here, and you'll need a printer attached to your computer. You can print it in PDF format, which I've used here because I'll get it onto a printer in a minute. But this is what it looks like. The local train Kaifuk to the Hoogovens steelworks and the Penn power plant. Today we need to take with us, in red is what needs to be picked up, and in blue what needs to be set out. So we first have to do some work here at Kaifuk yard, and that is to pick up the cars SO5, a coil car, the scrap metal gondola, and 2 loaded cars. And these are the tracks from which we need to build a train together. So that'll be the switcher work at the Kaifuk yard, and then a train can take these four cars to the steelworks area. So that's the first thing we'll do. Okay, the train has been built as we've shown at the yard, and what we now need to do is, when the train has moved off and is doing its work at the steel and power plant, is we need to complete that move inside of JMRI. So we hit here. Let's see if you can just check. There we go. You hit the move button, train en route. You'll see that with the cars here, the cars that will be en route. We move, and we move again, and that train is terminated. Basically what this now means is the train has gone to the steelworks power plant with the cars from the yard per the list. By the way, here's the printed list which we'll be using. So at the power plant and steelworks, we need to do this red and blue work, set out and pick up. And then back at Kaifuk yard, we then need to place the cars that we've brought with us onto the respective tracks as shown. That is the complete move for this train as shown up here. So we've already done it virtually. And now we need to do it physically, so that the cars will match up again with what the system thinks has been done. So we'll do that. So here we are at Kaifuk yard with our switch list that we just created, and we would now get the switcher in a proper operator session. We would now get the switcher to build the train according to the switch list. Now what I'll do, just for speed's sake, is I will get these cars. It's SO5 is the rail line coil car, which is this one. I'll put it onto the departure track, just for speed's sake. We built. We've got two full load cars for the power plant. We'll put a caboose on the end as required by the railroad. Now we can get our train, the locomotive we're going to use, the power we're going to use to get the train to the power plant area. That I will just run with the throttle. Alright, we're ready to go. Okay, well, the train needs to go, as I've shown before, on the main line here. It's automatically controlled, so I can check for this train. I need to go from Kaifuk to the steel yard, this one. And all I say is start, and the train will be directed to go to the steel yard. That's done automatically now. And it will stop automatically at the steel yard. Okay, I won't bore you with all the switching activity. I'll do that quickly by hand, but we'll set the train up to go back to the yard with the required cars according to the switch list. So again, the switch list which I have in my hand here, the 4 cars that we brought with us, the blue we leave behind, 2 at the power plant and 2 at the steelworks, and there are 5 cars, the two steel coil cars here and the 3 empty coal cars we'll need to take back with us. So in another time I'll show the actual switching, but I'll just do it by hand quickly now because this is a demonstration. Okay, by fair means or foul we've built our return train with the 5 cars here, and you can see at the rear, I'll just have a look, the 2 coal cars are at the power plant, and the scrap gondola and the coil steel car are at the steelworks, and our train is now ready to head on out. And the train is now arriving on the arrival track at Kaifuk Yard, and once it's stopped, then the switcher can take over. Because what we need to do now, whilst that train is stopping, is we brought the train back. We've brought 5 cars with us. Those 5 cars now need to be placed, as shown here, at Kaifuk Yard. Those 5 cars need to be placed on the required 2 tracks that we're using for this little demonstration. So the switcher can go ahead and do that, and then basically we're ready for the next move. Okay, this first train has now been completed. The switch list, we've worked through the switch list. This switch list is no longer valid, it's been completed, and we can stick it onto the stack of the archive. It's the same thing as showing here that the train has terminated. So we're now ready to do what we need to do with the cars in the correct position. So we could now run our other train, which is the train to the coal mine. Presumably that'll pick up the 3 empty coal cars and the cars for the net car, the coil cars. So we'll build that, and we can preview it. Switch list. For the train going to the DSM coal mine and the Nedcar power plant. So as expected, Here we are, the three empty coal cars that we just picked up from the power plant are going straight away to the mine. The two coil cars and another coil car that was available at the yard. So we've got a train of 6 cars, 3 empty coal cars, and 3 loaded coil cars going to respectively the mine and the auto plant. And then when we're there, we will pick up a coil car, we'll pick up the 2 loaded coal cars, and we'll drop the 3 empties here at DSM coal mine, Nedcar, etc. And then when we get back to Kaifuk, we'll only have 3 cars with us. They need to be left at the tracks here. So we'll print this list, and this will complete our movements showing the demonstration of this package. And before we can go any further is again move the train, virtually move the train, move it, move en route until finally it says terminated here, and now all the cars will be in the places where they should be virtually now based on the switch lists. So the system is now up to date again with what has actually happened, and we can again start another train. This brief demonstration just really scratches the surface of the possibilities of the JMRI package for operations. I don't pretend to be an expert, but one of the good things about making one of these videos is that you learn as you go along. So I'm also still learning the package, but it seems to be very useful, very interesting. I'm not sure how it can be controlled in terms of which cars you want to take or not. I need to figure that out. But for the rest, looks to be very interesting, and I hope this short video as an introduction was helpful to some who were thinking about using the package. Okay, comments welcome. Bye.